Hey there, just getting back to you about the Stealth Belt. I finally got it. It's been a couple weeks. I wanted to try it out and see all the pros and cons of it before I actually made a video about it. But just a couple things about it first. You can go to their website. It's stealthbelt.com, stealthbelt.com. They have all different styles, and they're made custom. I guess the guy that started it wasn't happy with the belts that were available on the market, and so he and I guess his mom came up with one. It was probably his idea, and she did the sewing, I'm guessing, because he's an avid water skier and outdoorsman and stuff, and so wanted something that was waterproof and things like that. So I think that's kind of how it came up. But they do make them custom. You have to measure. They tell you how to measure, and they'll set it up for you depending on which side your stoma is on, and all that sort of stuff. It took 3 to 4 weeks for me to get. I think I got it around a little bit after Thanksgiving. I think right after, maybe the Friday after Thanksgiving. So I've had it a couple weeks. The one I got, I think, is called the Stealth Belt Pro or the Stealth Belt Classic. It's the main one that they advertise. It's $90. That was with, I think it's $97 with tax and shipping and such. But they also submitted to my insurance too. Now this is like a courtesy they do. It's not, they don't really deal with insurance normally. So they just took my insurance information and submitted it, and then I should hear back. And she said sometimes it takes 8 to 12 weeks to hear back and see if insurance will reimburse me for it. If they don't, I'm fine with that. I really, really like the belt. I really haven't found anything negative about it. So paying the money out of pocket for me is fine. Because it does a few things. Number one, because you have to wear your bag horizontally, and the bag doesn't hang vertically anymore, it's not a problem when going to the bathroom, for guys anyways. When you're standing and urinating, and the bag's hanging vertically, it's kind of right in the way of things. So you're having to move it out of the way and do your business and stuff. So keeping the bag horizontally kind of makes that easier. It also makes it easier when sleeping, although I don't wear the belt at night. I'll explain to you what I do, but I keep the bag horizontally at night, so it makes it a little easier to sleep. It's better at work because it's under clothes, although I wear scrubs, so they're baggy anyways. But even when I go out or anything, it's a little bit more fitted around my waist. You just feel more secure that the bag is against you and the flange isn't going to come off, and you don't have that tugging feeling once you have output in the bag where it constantly feels like it's pulling on your skin. So I really, really like it. Plus, I haven't done any water skiing or swimming or anything. It's December in Chicago, but I could see where it would be beneficial. At the gym now, it's not a big deal for me to change my clothes at the gym. I don't shower there still because when the belt gets really wet, it does hold water. I mean, it's, you'd almost need to wring it out, and you're supposed to let it air dry. So I don't shower in it. But if you do sweat a little bit, like when I'm working out and stuff, it self-dries very quickly. So that's not a big deal. But at the gym, like I said, it looks like a back support belt. So nobody can really tell what's going on. Although I did have somebody at the gym, there's always somebody, right? Just being curious, which is not a big deal, and said, "Oh, what's that belt for?" And I thought maybe people were gonna think it was one of those like electro ab belts that stimulates your abs, and by the way, those don't work, but anyways, I thought that's where he was going to go with it. So he asked, what's the belt for? And I said, well, I had some abdominal surgery, so it just gives some added support, and I figured I was just going to leave it at that. He goes, oh, really? I had a hernia surgery in the past and stuff. Was it like that? And I said, no, actually, I had my colon removed. And he just kind of looked at me for a quick second and then looked down and went about his business and didn't say anything else to me after that. So that'll teach you for being nosy. But it was kind of cool in a way, because afterwards I felt like, it's nice to be able to educate people a little bit. That, you know, oh, he'll tell someone or his family, you know, hey, I saw someone at the gym today had this funny belt on and he said he had his colon removed, and, you know, and he's at the gym and working out. And because I'm sure everyone else has a stigma, even if we don't put the stigma on ourselves about having a bag and things like that. So it's kind of good, I think, to educate people, just like amputees, because again, I'm a physical therapist, so we deal with amputees. Seeing an amputee out there with their prosthetic leg or doing a sport without their leg, it just kind of reinforces that all kinds of different people have all different disabilities and things, and we're still able to live normal, productive lives. So it actually was kind of a good thing that he asked me that, even though it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. And the other thing before I show you the belt, when I come home at the end of the day, I don't like leaving the belt on. Some people sleep in the belt and wear the belt at work and everything all the time. When I come home, I'm just tired of having something around my waist. It's not tight, it's not uncomfortable. I just don't like that feeling after being in it all day. It's kind of like taking your socks off at the end of the day. It feels good to have it off. So what I've done is when I get home and take the belt off, I actually take a piece of paper medical tape, and I leave the bag horizontally, and I just tape the very end of the bag to my skin so it keeps it still horizontally. And I actually sleep like that. It doesn't come off or anything. And it works great for me. It allows me to keep the belt off but keep the bag in good position. Because they're two-piece bags, I don't think you could do it with a one-piece. They're made to be worn with two-piece bags, but you could call the guy, there's a phone number on the website, and ask him if you had a one-piece system, how you might be able to work that around. But I did try initially when I came home from work, to take apart the two-piece bag, turn the bag vertically, and then clip the bag back together. And then in the morning, after I showered, separate the bag from the flange, rotate it up horizontally, and clip it back together. But each time you take it off, or you separate the two pieces, you have to clean in there because you don't want output to get in the seam, because after a while it would probably start to smell. So that got a little old, constantly taking it off and putting it back and taking it on, switching it around. So I just leave it horizontally now all the time. I was a little bit concerned about having to empty the bag horizontally, because I had read a couple things about that. It's really not a big deal. You do have to put like a 90-degree angle in the bag, to empty it. So I just kind of, with my hand, kind of mold the waste away from the stoma and away from the end of the bag that's by the stoma into the end that I'm going to empty, to help clear it out, and it's been fine. Someone else had said, or I had read somewhere, that their flange actually broke down a little sooner because because the bag is horizontal, the output can't drop straight down. It kind of filters out this way, and so you don't have as much room before the waist is kind of up around the flange a little bit, and with the acidity of the output and stuff. But I haven't noticed any problems with the breakdown in my flange, and I keep the bag horizontally 24/7. So I had one bag failure, a bag blowout, but it wasn't a big blowout at work, and it was after I got the belt, but it wasn't due to the belt. Because I was still a little nervous about having my bag fully horizontal and being able to empty it, I thought, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to just put the bag, instead of total horizontal, I'm going to put it at a 45-degree angle, because that would be a little easier to empty, right? Well, I think what happened is I was coming close to the day to change my bag anyway, so I was getting near the end of the length of time you should have the bag and the flange and the adhesive on. And having it at a 45-degree angle, every time I tuck the bag up into the belt, there'd be a little, there's a little twisting or torquing on the adhesive and the flange. And then when I came home at that time, I wasn't taping it up to my side, I was just letting it hang. And so then there's another torque the other way that was happening. So I think the constant twisting of the flange and the adhesive, along with getting near the end of my time to change the bag, caused the adhesive to failure, and I happened to be at work. And sometimes if I'm doing a lot of physical things at work with patients and it gets a little hot, I'll just kind of take a minute and just kind of pull the belt away from my skin just with my finger a little bit. And I felt a little bit of moisture more than sweat, and so you can peel the bag away and you could still see the adhesive. And I looked and I saw some output coming through past the adhesive. So luckily I wasn't with any patients, and I have an emergency bag that I keep in my locker at work with all the changing pieces and the adhesive remover and all that stuff. So I just took time, went in the bathroom and changed my bag at work. So it wasn't a big deal, and I was very thankful that my output tends to be on the thicker side. So there wasn't any clothing damage. I didn't even get my belt dirty or anything. So that worked out okay. Other than that, the belt, like I said, I can't say enough about it. It's a good thing. They do, I'm sure it's a business, they're trying to upsell you. They say, oh, you should buy two, one that you could wear while the other one's in the wash, because you have to let it air dry and everything like that. But because they're not returnable, I only wanted one just to try it. And since hopefully, fingers crossed, this will all be over in April and I won't need a bag or a belt anymore, I figured one is gonna do me just fine. So I'll probably keep it with that. I probably would order it maybe on the smaller side when you measure. Like when I was measuring, it was coming out around, I think 37 and a quarter above, 37 at the level of the stoma, and then 37 and a quarter below. And I wear usually like a 35 pant in the waist. And she was trying, the lady was telling me, well, you should probably go the larger size. And I said, well, I'm trying to keep my weight stable or lower it for the next surgery. And she also said that they're made to stretch a little bigger, but if you get one too big, you can't make it smaller. So I went with a slightly smaller size than she was recommending. Because the other thing is, if it is a little small, you can buy I think it's a 6-inch extender. So if you get something smaller, you can make it bigger, but if you get it too big, you're out of luck. So I went with a little smaller size, and it's been perfect for me. So I'm gonna pan the camera down and I'll show you the belt and how it goes on and everything. A little bit more, and maybe zoom in a little. Okay, so yeah, what I was telling you about earlier, so I just have a little bit of, it's just paper tape so it doesn't irritate my skin, to tape the bag up when I'm not wearing the belt. So that's all. And just as an aside, the little laparoscopic scars are real small now. They're going away, which is nice, just in time for my next one where I'll have a nice incision right down here. But anyways, I digress. So this is the belt. There's 2 Velcro pieces. This is like an added extra support. And then there's this one. On the inside, there's a zipper pouch. And on the inside, you can see is this hole. And this is where your bag goes through, and then you put it right in front of the flange, and I'll show you how that works. So you just take your bag and you feed it right through the hole. And it's pretty quick and easy. I always just make sure that I'm holding the bag, because I don't want to accidentally pop the 2-piece bag into 2 pieces while I'm doing this. So I just make sure of that. And you want to make sure you get it behind the plastic part. I think you can see, so the tabs on the plastic part of the bag are sticking up. So it's basically right in front of the adhesive. And then I usually just do a initial tack with that, just so it's stable on my waist while I tuck the bag in. And it's meant to the bag just fits right in there. You tuck the end in and just make sure it's as straight as you can get it. And then when I zip it, I pull the zipper down a little bit to make sure I don't zip the bag in there. And you can just smooth it around. And then you pull this as snug as you want it. And when I pull the first one, I watch to see how much this moves, because you don't want to have too much torquing or pulling on your flange. So I watch when I pull this one how much it moves, and then I try to take it back when I pull this one on there. And you can actually, when you stick your fingers down inside there, you can feel that ring that's in the belt. You can see if it's been stretched into an oval or if it's still a circle, so you can tell how hard you're stretching it. And then I take that extra support and just pull a little bit. And that's it. It basically, to the untrained eye, it looks like a lumbar support belt. Just fits around, and like I said, under like a button-down shirt, or you can wear pretty fitted clothing. I have like a muscle shirt. It's not really spandex, but along those versions. That's a little too form-fitting. For that, you'll still see a little bit of a bulge, but for button-down shirts and stuff like that, it's perfect. Like I said, it basically just looks like a lumbar support belt. And then when you're gonna empty, you just unzip and you pull this out, and I pull the whole bag out. I don't know if everyone else does that. And then I just kind of make sure I massage the output towards the end of the bag that I'm gonna empty. And then you just undo it, and you're sitting on the toilet or standing or whatever you do, and you just kind of squeeze it out and then clean your bag up. And I always hold the flange to make sure I'm not going to unsnap the two-piece part of the bag, like I said. And then you just tuck it all back up there. And that's it. Like I said, I can't say enough about it. I highly recommend it. It's worked great for me at work. I did talk to someone over the phone because I wanted to talk with him about it before I ordered mine, because you don't want to spend $97 on something you can't return and then find out you don't like it. His only complaint was because the zipper is only on the bottom, you can't really see exactly how you're laying the bag. You just kind of have to feel it. So he said he split one side, it comes across the bottom, and then he went up either the outside or the inside, I don't know. He went up one way, and he knows someone who can sew or something or put snaps on. So at least he had like two sides of access. I don't really mind it like this. It's not a big deal to use that way for me. So not a problem. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's really anything else about the belt. Oh, if you're wondering if you'll be able to handle wearing the belt horizontally, the bag horizontally as opposed to vertically, what I would recommend is turn your bag horizontally and then use like an ace wrap. Don't wrap it super tight, but tight enough that it'll stay around your waist, but not so tight that the bag can't expand or you're putting pressure on your stoma. And then use tape to tape it to itself, so you basically make your own belt, if you will. Just don't use the metal clips to clip the band, the ace wrap back to itself, because you don't want to put a hole in your bag. But that'll give you an idea what this belt is going to feel like and what it's going to feel like to wear your bag horizontally. And then maybe try taking the end of your bag out part of the ace wrap and try emptying it, just so you get the feel of what that's going to be like with the belt. So I think that's it. I am about 3.5 weeks out from my second surgery. It's going to be January 14th. My pre-op appointment, that's a Monday. My pre-op appointment is on January 9th, which is the Wednesday before. I'll probably post one more video sometime after that pre-op appointment, just to go over again exactly what's going to be done in this next step. This is the most aggressive surgery of the three, and like I said, it's about 3.5 weeks away. I'm about 13 and a half weeks post right now. So the second surgery is starting to play in my head more and more as we're getting closer and closer to it, for many reasons, and I'll talk about that at another time. But the main thing is because I'm at such a good place right now, just used to the stoma and living life and not a big deal, to know that I'm going back into the hospital to have another surgery. The recovery will probably be a little rougher. I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have a different ostomy, so it'll be a little bit different fit. The output will probably be a little more watery because my next ostomy will be a little higher up in the small intestine. It's not at the very end of the small intestine, so there won't be as much digestion, I guess, that will have taken place. So anyways, water output could be a little more watery. And there's just more risk involved with the nerves to the genitalia and the nerves to the bladder and stuff like that. So, that's just all starting to swim around in my head a little bit. But hopefully 3.5 weeks, that'll be over and I'll just be recovering. And I'll get 6 more weeks off work. So right now, just working as much as I can to try and sock away the money so I can afford to be off for 6 more weeks. So, all right, I will chat with you then in a few more weeks. Thanks for listening. If you do have any questions about the Stealth Belt, you can go to their website, stealthbelt.com, or if you want to ask me questions, you can email me at ucandpsc@gmail.com. I'm not affiliated with the company. I don't get any money if other people sign up or anything like that. Just kind of relaying information to you if anyone's interested. I think it's a great product. I haven't tried any other belts either, so I really don't have anything to compare to. But it's a great product, like I said, and it's worked great for me. So, all right, talk to you later.